I'm going crazy, sitting on that train, and I don't think I'm ever coming home. Don't think I'm lazy, don't think I'm strange. I do think I'm really just losing it all. 'Cause I'm going crazy. Yes, I'm going crazy.
What's happening, everybody? Happy Friday night to you. It's your old friend Ray here. I've got my bacon-scented candle going. I've got some gin tonight, and we are ready to rock. Happy Friday. What's happening? How was your week? Did we do this last week? I can't remember if we did it last week. Was last week Diane Franklin? That was a lot of fun. I got a lot of comments about that. All the Last American Virgin and all the great movies she was in the 80s. So sweet, too. So nice. I look forward to talking to her again because she's putting out a book about Better Off Dead. So that's going to be really cool once that comes out. What's up, Julie? How are you? Nice to see you. Chime in when you can. All right, so we bought a Jeep recently, and I'm obsessed with it. I just bought a soft top tonight because it's kind of raining out our way, and it's been in the garage, and it's driving me absolutely nuts. Even if it's going to sprinkle, I start to freak out. So we bought a soft top today. We're going to talk to Gerald St. Angelo from Rhode Island Jeep Wave. Y'all know what the Jeep Wave is? I don't want to give it away unless you have a Jeep, so I'm not going to do that. So we'll talk to Gerald a little bit later on. We were going to talk to Vicky Wojcik about Country Fest or Country Jam. Sorry, that's different. Country Jam. It's coming up next week. We'll talk about that later. The Pub Kings are playing. Can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let me pour a drink before I get to my next guest. I'm so excited to talk to my first guest tonight. All right, the drink I'm going to make tonight, it's very easy, and it's a little bit more involved if you want to get deep into this drink. It's gin-based. It's actually just all gin. Danny DeVito drinks this. And what you do is you take a cucumber peel like this and you just throw it in your glass. And then we're going to throw some ice in there. And then you're going to pour your gin. And that's it. That's the Danny DeVito cucumber gin. Tonight I'm drinking Hardshore, distilled on the rugged shore of Portland. So you know it's manly. How else do I know it's manly? It's North Oak. It's got selected botanicals in it. I don't know if that makes it manly. Anyway, I've just recently got into gin. Yep, botanicals and all, Jay. I love it. So I'm going to let that sit, let the cucumber steep. I don't know. You know how else I know that this is the real deal? This came with this little emblem hanging around the coin, around the neck there of the bottle. I don't know. To me, that means it's expensive. All right, so let's get to my first guest here. And I'm very excited and a bit nervous as I get. You know, I do this for a living. I've been doing radio for 25 years. This show makes me nervous. I don't know why. I've got the Casingles from Kix. These were way back in like 88, 89, 90. We've got Cold Blood with Blow My Fuse as the B-side. And of course, Don't Close Your Eyes with Get It While It's Hot on the B-side. Awesome. I've got the CDs, of course, but I've saved a few singles over the years. Let's bring in the damaged one, Brian Forsythe from Kix.
Hey.
How are you?
Good.
Good to see you. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I
don't know if I've ever seen those cassette singles. I've got the actual 45s.
These were the cassette answer to 45s once those were drying up. I just did I wrote a whole article on these the other day. When 45s just weren't the thing, they decided, well, you know, we want to make a few bucks, and some people don't want to hear the whole album, which we did back in the day. We listened to everything from start to finish because it was so. At least on a record, you could find the groove, but with the cassette, it was so hard to get to that song, and I think that's why they released the big hits. Yeah, this is great. I've got a bunch of the 80s songs up there. Let me put these aside. All right. Brian, how was COVID for you? How was the pandemic? I saw you were doing some cooking shows on YouTube, keeping yourself busy.
Yeah. I talked to a lot of people during that time, and it seemed like, people were just going stir crazy, but personally, I really enjoyed it. I like being alone, and I'm I've been living here in Nashville for about 2 years now, and I'm by
Oh,
myself
nice.
in this house, and it was great.
Yeah, I think I rediscovered myself. I mean, I've got a family here. We spent more time with the family because I'm in a few bands myself, and I was so busy before the pandemic hit,
Mhm.
and then we were forced to not go anywhere, be at home, and I really enjoyed that time, and I've scaled down since. But I started this show during the pandemic, which I probably wouldn't have done,
Right.
and I started learning the ukulele. That didn't last long, but I got a few months out of it. So kind of a blessing, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and that the whole cooking thing, that was just, I was just doing it for fun. I haven't actually done one in a while now. I kind of got burnt out on it, but I'll probably continue at some point.
Absolutely. So what's going on with Kicks these days? I know your last album was what, 2014,
Yeah.
2015. Are you guys in the studio? You're writing? Are you producing anything else?
Well,
I know you're touring, so
yeah, it's starting back up. In fact, next week. Um, yeah, a lot of people have asked us about that since all this downtime. They figured we'd be doing all kinds of new music, but nah, that didn't happen.
yeah.
I mean, we've talked about it, but I live down here in Nashville, and well, especially during COVID, everybody was kind of paranoid about traveling and getting
Yeah.
together and all that stuff.
Do you think it's something like when you start touring and you're with the guys again, you're ramping up, the energy's high again. It's like we got to write something on the bus.
Maybe, I don't know. We're well, nowadays there's no bus.
No, there's no bus. Oh,
No, it's Southwest Airlines. We just
okay.
we just fly in and fly out, and so there's not a whole lot of like downtime. We get in the night before. The next day, it's like sound check, the show, and then we go back to the room, pack our junk, and then the next morning we're out of there. So,
You said you like being alone, but do you still enjoy touring? You still enjoy being on the road,
um,
sort of in the
well,
sky?
I did until it stopped. Now I'm like heading into it. I'm going, oh man, do I really want to do this? But I will. Once it gets up and running, I'll be right back into it again. It's like riding a bike.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys are actually coming to my area. You're going to be at Mohegan Sun, the casino, on August 23rd. That's what 7th, excuse me. And then the next night, you're at a great place called the Greasy Luck in New Bedford. And
Yeah.
I believe my buddies are opening for you in Bad Marriage. I think you might meet them that night.
Yeah.
They were a great band influenced by early rock, 80s rock, AC/DC, and of course, you guys. Speaking of AC/DC, over my shoulders here, um, is it safe to say that that AC/DC was a huge influence on Kicks? I know you guys had a lot of influences, but I hear a lot of AC/DC in some of your songs.
Yes, definitely. Yeah,
Okay.
it's funny when we first started. Like we didn't stumble onto ACDC until I'm trying to think of when that happened. Probably late '79 or so. A friend of ours took us for a ride in his car and stuck this ACDC cassette in. Speaking of cassettes, and I remember all of a sudden, what was it? Problem Child came blasting out of the speakers, and it was like, man, this is like it was so good. And I think I had heard of them here and there before that, but that was the first time it really struck me. And I remember, I think it struck everybody because because we were still doing cover songs at that point. So we started doing a bunch of AC/DC. And when before that, we did like a variety of stuff. I mean, we always had our own songs mixed in, but we did Aerosmith, the Stones, Led Zeppelin, Cheap
Mm.
Trick, all that stuff. But as soon as we discovered AC/DC, it was like this. We discovered this thing that was like easy to play, sounded good no matter what, had this just drive to it, and so I think, especially Donnie, it really struck him because it influenced his songwriting definitely.
Yeah, I think it was Hotwire that has a lot of those influences in it, especially the kick-ass guitar at the beginning. And then I don't know if you did it on purpose or out of tribute, but there's a little bit of "Have a Drink on Me" when everything stops and down, 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 down.
Oh, maybe.
I know I hate asking that question because some bands might take offense, like our music's our music. We're not influenced by anybody.
No.
But that's not a bad band to be influenced by.
Right. And I hate that when people do that. They're obviously influenced by a certain band and they'll go, who? You know, like act like they don't even know who the band is. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, because even those bands were influenced by somebody else, and everybody was
Yeah.
influenced by the blues. So congratulations, and I know it was last year, but 35 years on Midnight Dynamite. You guys reissued a 2 CD remaster, and it's got the demos on it too, which is fun to listen to.
Yeah.
How did that go? It came out during COVID, but how did that go?
What do you mean? How did it go?
Just the release and the anticipation of from the fans and the acceptance of the fans.
Oh, I think everybody seemed to like it. It's hard to tell, you know, because we're kind of cut off from civilization.
Out of touch, yeah.
But you know, everything I've heard that, you know, people seem to like it. So
Yeah. Are you going to do another one for Blow My Fuse in what? It would be 3 years. Will be the 35th.
well, we did one before Midnight Dynamite. Had that one remixed. In fact,
Yeah.
Bo Hill did that one too. That was the
Okay.
first one. He what was the anniversary for that? I forget. Maybe it was 25 years. It could be 25. I can't keep track.
It's going by so fast, man. I mean, when I heard that you guys really got your start in like 1978, 1979, I'm thinking, where did the time go?
I know. Well, the crazy thing is, you know, I initially left the band in '93 and moved out to LA, and then those guys kind of fizzled out around '95. So there was like this whole almost a 10-year gap. And since then, it's already been, I mean, how many years is it now? Almost 20 years. It's like crazy how long. And it had been, I think when I left, it was 19. I had been in the band 19 years at that point.
Yep. And you have the original lineup right now. Just one guy, right, is missing?
Yeah, we have a different bass player.
Okay. How is it? I mean, obviously, you pretty much grew up with these guys. Is it like family? Is it like, the distance is good? It's always nice to see everybody, but, we can't live in the same house anymore or in the same apartment.
Right. Yeah, I remember when we got Steve from Piedmont, West Virginia, and he moved down to Hagerstown, and I was living in this big house with actually it was I married at that point? Maybe I wasn't even married, my future ex-wife. There was her and her sister was there, and then her sister's boyfriend played in the band with Steve, and that's how we found out about Steve. So when we took Steve, that band broke up, so he moved in with his girlfriend in our house, and then Steve came down and he moved into the back bedroom in that house. So it was like this whole house full of people. But yeah, those days are definitely gone. But we all, we've been around each other for so long. We all know each other's moods and know when to stay out of the way, but we all still get along too. So it's cool.
How is Steve? I can't imagine Kicks being Kicks without Steve, obviously.
Oh no, I couldn't either.
And he still has it too. I was listening to the 2014 album, and he still got the pipes and the attitude. I think it's mostly the attitude.
Yeah. He's just a natural born performer.
Well, so before you guys get started, Brian has and I knew this. That was the original name of the band, right? Shoes?
Yes.
Was that right? How many incarnations of Kicks were there until you got to Kicks and finally got that first album out back in the early 80s and decided this is the direction we're going?
Well, the first, it was Ronnie, Donnie Purnell, and me with a different drummer to begin with. It was just four of us. And that was in my parents' basement in 1977. And then in 78, we got one singer, this guy from Buffalo. His name was Ed, so we called him Buffalo Ed. And he never made it out of the basement. And then we got a guy named Terry Brady, who was in a band with Donnie previously, who was a really good singer, but after Donnie and him stopped playing together, he got married. So he came back to sing with us, but he was married, and his wife was like, kind of like she wasn't into it for him to go back out playing again. So that didn't last long either. So then we got a third guy, this guy named Sam Smith, who was a great singer, but a kind of awkward and gawky and not really the right guy. So we did go through a few people, and then
Mhm.
when was it? I guess 70, 78, early 79 is when we stumbled onto Steve, because we decided we didn't want the Sam Smith guy anymore. And we started trying out a few people and just nothing was working. And then we heard about Steve, and we rode up to this little dive bar in West Virginia. And Steve was behind the drums. He was a drummer, but he was singing Led Zeppelin. So we're like, oh man, this guy can sing. So we took him out to the car, played him the tape, and he was starstruck because he was from this tiny little town, and we were from the big city, Hagerstown, Maryland. but yeah, we sold him. We played him our original demos, and told him we were going to get a record deal and all that stuff. And like a week later, he was moving down to Hagerstown.
There was so many. Well, there's so much to talk about with the '80s, and I don't know if you care for the term hair bands, hair metal. You guys, whatever, it made you money. You guys came in at just the right time with Midnight Dynamite, '85, right? And
Yeah.
then I think the big arena shows and everything was ramped up by '88. And then even by '91, as it was getting a little quiet right before grunge came, you guys put out another album. So you were right there from the start, the middle, and right towards the end, with a lot of hits on every album as well. When you're doing your first couple albums, '81, '84, whenever that was, and then you see this movement, in music, this shift with the glam and was it a natural um, transfer of power, so to speak, to that time period? Or was that something you guys had to say, okay, we have to change our way. We got to change our look just a little bit. We got to add a little bit more energy. What was that process like going through that hairband era?
Well, it wasn't really a conscious thing.
It
We
just
just
happened.
we we just sort of went with the flow. I think we didn't really
Right. Fair
discuss
enough.
anything. Uh, and like I know myself personally, I've always been like a Keith Richards fan, and he's always been that kind of grungy, glammy look, especially the early '70s.
Yeah.
And so when all that stuff started happening, like Hanoi Rocks and all that, it just sort of like I went from being like when we started like our first record, I think we kind of fashioned ourselves after like the Ramones because we were coming out of the '70s at that point.
Right.
And so we all wore tennis shoes and jeans and leather jackets and then the look started to sort of change. And I remember it sort of gave me permission to just go ahead and do the Keith thing because that's what I've always been into. So that's kind of how that evolved. And there's always like more extreme periods and less extreme, but we never really we weren't trying to follow the trends or anything. We were just sort of going along with things. And I mean, I'm sure Donnie's songwriting was influenced by the times, but not so much. I mean, we weren't saying, oh, we got to write a song like that, or we got to look like that. Or for us, it was more, I felt like it was natural. We weren't like doing something that trying to do something that we weren't.
You hear so many bands tell the stories about how when grunge did hit, they kind of went away a bit. The party was over, so to speak. Right. Did you see that coming as a musician? Did you see that shift coming? Because, Nevermind came out well before the actual movement happened.
Right.
Did you smell anything?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's weird. It was more like, we could feel it within the record business. Like we put Hotwire out, and
it's a fantastic CD, by the way.
Yeah, it's actually it was my favorite.
Was it? Yeah.
Because I just figured, to top Blow My Fuse, I thought that was the next step, and it was just another step up. And we thought because Blow My Fuse did so well that album was just going to blow up, and we'd be AC/DC or something.
Yeah.
And I remember right the week it was released, we had to have a meeting up in New York City at Atlantic Records. Or actually, that came out on East West, which is part of Atlantic. But we had to meet with the head of East West, and we're in his office, and we're talking about the plans for the record and all this stuff. And all of a sudden he goes, "Oh, I got to show you something." And he pulls his desk drawer out and pulls out the Nirvana CD. And he goes, "This is the next big thing." And we're like, "Uh-oh." That was the sign. And we just saw it. And it was like, it was weird because when Hotwire first came out, it kind of came out with a bang, and they were behind it at first, and they were sending Steve and I all around the country doing all this press, and we thought, wow, this is really cool, but not that far into it. In fact, it was when we were doing a video for Tear Down the Walls, and we thought, wow, Don't Close Your Eyes was huge. This ballad's going to be even bigger. And we were halfway through filming, and we get this call to that's it, cut it off, stop it,
wow.
Pack it up, we're not putting any more money into this record. That's the end of it. And we hadn't even gotten that far with it yet, and that was actually the clear sign. And I remember thinking, oh, and in all the big arena tours were starting to sort of just die, because I remember the last few we went on, it was like a struggle. I mean, we weren't headlining, so it wasn't our responsibility, but the crowds weren't like they were. And I just saw it. And I could see like our gigs were going to start getting less and less, like, going back down that ladder that we had just climbed. And that's why I jumped ship. I just saw it was slowly starting to sink at that point.
Yeah. So after you jumped ship, did you move into that sound with other projects? Were you, you were just like, enough of this?
No, I was really resistant against that whole 90s thing.
What about now? What about reflecting on that and looking back? Because I was trying to hold on to the glam as well. That was my jam, and I loved it. And as much as I did enjoy what Nirvana was doing, I don't think I got it as much as I related to the glam rock, to the 80s stuff. So I'm with you. But now looking back, I appreciate it a little bit more. I don't appreciate that they took the spotlight, but...
Well, I mean, with every era of music, there's the good and the bad. And so there's some good stuff in there. But yeah, I kind of overlooked it. In fact, the whole 90s for me was a blur. Those were kind of like my drug days.
Yeah. So there's a resurgence, though. I mean, you're back on the road, and every band is out there doing their thing again. Maybe not playing the stadiums. I saw you and Whitesnake, 1990, I believe it was, at the Worcester Centrum, and I think that may have been one of the last big arena shows that I saw with those bands. But now it's fantastic to be able to go to a casino or a theater in Boston or like New Bedford, where you guys are going to be, and get a little bit more up close and personal with some of our heroes. Are you enjoying, I don't want to say the smaller spotlight, that's not what I mean, but I think you understand what I mean.
No, actually, yeah. That's the one good thing that came out of it was, we got a taste of the arena tours and stuff back then.
You lived it. You got it. You had that in your life.
Yeah, but our main thing were always the dive bars. I mean, we'd come off of a tour and go right back to the clubs. So we were pretty much at home at a club.
Oh, nice. So it's a little bit easier this time around touring in those clubs. Hey, you want to talk about Vince Neil at all?
Vince Neil?
Yeah.
And what
have you seen any of the videos lately of him? I mean, they're back on the road with Poison and Def Leppard and Joan Jett. And over the last couple of days, some video has surfaced of him singing recently.
Oh, I heard a rumor.
It's not very good. And I was just wondering what your thoughts might be on aging musicians and knowing or not knowing when it's time to leave.
Well, yeah, we've done some shows in the past with Vince Neil. Well, some guys don't age as well as others, and like some guys don't take care of themselves. And
I think that's the biggest thing with this issue, is that he's not taking care of himself.
Yeah, and also like even Steve, who does take care of himself. There was a point when we first started back up again, and he wasn't used to singing all this stuff, where he was having some problems, and I think it was mostly because he hadn't done it in a while, but but as you get older, your voice changes. And
Sure.
he basically had to go back and relearn how to sing. He had to teach himself, because his range, he can still hit the high stuff, but his little crossover point in his vocals changed. So he had to learn how to compensate for that, which he did. But some of these people, they just sort of think they're going to just power through it. And I think Vince just holds the mic out and lets the crowd sing.
He does, yeah. And he doesn't sing the lyrics either. That's another thing. It's what did you say, man? Anyway, I don't want to bash the guy. He's got his demons and whatever we all do. But I just want to get your opinion on aging musicians and whether they should stay or go. I mean, keep going as long as you can. Now,
or reinvent yourself or something, or just figure out a better way to do it. There's always ways.
I think the rest of the guys did it. I think Nikki Sixx has a project that's a little bit different than he's used to, and Tommy Lee became a DJ. So, yeah, you can do that. It's you guys make it tough on. Speaking of aging musicians, I'm in a cover band. I have a lot of friends who are in cover bands. We may do a song like "Don't Close Your Eyes." We'll know our limits because, I'm almost 50 years old. I can't sing like I used to. And the crowd gets so upset if you're not hitting the notes that were written and sung 30 years ago. And it's a grind being in a cover band, trying to sing these classic songs. And I just look at them and I go, well, those guys made a lot of money and I'm taking home $75 tonight. And that's before my bar tab. Anyway, Brian, hey, it was great to talk to you. Great to catch up. Huge fan of Kix. I don't know if I said that from the start, but I am. I've got different top 5 lists as far as my music preferences go. And I've got like maybe 10 different lists for the 80s. And you guys are always right up there. It's so much fun. The music is rocking. The new CD, 2014, that's still relatively new. I encourage people to go get that, because it's a throwback to the older stuff, which is fantastic.
Yeah, that was fun to do. It was scary going into it, but once it was done and, looking back at it, it was like, man, we kind of pulled that off.
Well, congratulations on that. And we look forward to seeing you August 27th at Mohegan Sun and the 28th at the Greasy Luck in New Bedford. And be on the lookout for that opening band. I think Bad Marriage is opening, my buddies.
Okay.
Take care of yourself. Love to catch up again sometime.
Yeah, it was my pleasure.
All right, take care.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye. That's Brian Forsythe, the damaged one from Kix. And again, check it out, Micah Singles. I had these on my radio show the other day, wrote a little article about them. You can go to My FM in the Morning, the group page, join the group, read that. I don't know, I like it. I thought it was good. My mom likes it. My mom said, wow, you're a good writer. And that's all I got. All right, let's see. Can you say, what happened? Kelly, I don't know what happened, but I will, since you asked. And Shah, where's Shah? Hi, Shah. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Raylene. Hi, Raylene. Yeah, Rainy. It's rainy here too, Raylene. And there's Shah. And she's saying, everyone's saying hi to each other, but not to me. Oh, yeah, she did. Hi, Shah. From Kentucky. I love having listeners outside of my neighborhood. Or viewers. All right, we're awaiting Gerald from Rhode Island Jeep Wave. So before we do that, I was supposed to have Vicky Wojcik on from Wojcik's Farm. Hello, Jessica. That's my sister, all the way from Cincinnati. I was supposed to have Vicky on to talk about Country Fest, which is happening. Oh, Bill. Hi, Bill. What's happening? Where is there? Nope. Ohio in the house. Yep. Hey, Bill, how are you? Country Jam is next Saturday. The Pub Kings are playing. I cannot wait. So here is just a little bit. I hope this works. Here we go. We back in the saddle. And it's time to celebrate. About to show you one hell of a night. Head down to the Honky Tonk. I go down to the honky. That's Wojcik's Farm in Blackstone on June 12th for Country Jam. It's a full day of live country music, a beer tent, food trucks, vendors, yard games, and good times. Wojcik's Farm presents Country Jam, starring Timmy Brown. Tomorrow's never clear. Have tonight, just play by beat. Also featuring Steve Poirier, Route 6, The Unrehearsed, The Pump Kings, Trigger South, and the Goat Roper Band. Wojcik's Farm in Blackstone presents Country Jam, June 12th from 1 to 9 p.m. Get your tickets online at wojcikfarm.com. $20 in advance, $25 at the gate. For more information, call 774-460-1802. This is a 21-plus event. Oh, man, you know it's going to be good if it's a 21-plus event. Hold on, I'm in another screen here. Let me bring that out. That's the radio station I work at. And that was the smooth sounds of my voice on that spot. That's what I do for a living. I voice things. Hold on, I just want to see if, and I know she's watching, I want to see if my sister wants to join me for a little conversation. I think my mom is out there right now. Just, Jess, if you're watching, just jump on that link right there. We'll say hi. So there's that. Now, I was talking about Vince Neil, and let's take a little listen to something he was doing. What's that? The Boone, Iowa River Valley Festival 2021. So this is very recent, but this is the big deal right here. We'll jump right in the middle. He got that right. He got the wow right. Hold on. Let me dump that out. Let's bring Jay in for that. Hey, Jay. You're on.
Thank you. What's going on? That was, we've seen it all in the past too, Ray. I mean, this has been for years now. People are just like, here's another video of Vince.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't new. This is nothing new.
Right. And the problem is that they have this big, they went on their, their farewell tour. And they said, that's it. We're never going to go again. And then about a year and a half later, like, oh, no, we're coming back. Yeah. And that's fine because let's be honest, everyone always wants to hear Motley Crue music. I want to hear it. So they said it was going to be a year later. So we had a year to get in shape and make sure that he could still, sing the songs. So yeah. COVID happened. I get it. I think that is what his downfall was. I think he probably went down the drain again. Just because it clearly shows that he has not gotten any better. He's in fact gotten much worse. I mean, you see the gun on him, right?
Oh, it's horrible. I mean, when everybody else is taking care of themselves in the rock industry, and we've seen that. I can't think of anybody except Axl Rose, who was out of the loop for a very long time. No one is as big as Vince Neil. And, whatever. I've packed on plenty of weight. But he's getting paid a lot of money.
When you start having memes, that everyone's going around of you being the Bumble from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, there's a problem there, man.
Raylene has a great idea. She just combined two genres to make a new one. He's combining rock and scat.
Yeah, and let me tell you this much: when he did hit the notes, though, you were like, "Oh, there it is," but for like a brief second, and then it was gone, and you're like, "Son of a bitch."
I don't know why they're not piping in his lyric, his actual, like his older vocals from the recordings and letting him lip sync. I'm sure he's refusing to do that. But what an embarrassment not to do that and to sing, not the right lyrics. And I know, it's hard to memorize shit. I can't do it.
Well, we went and saw Motley Crue. We saw Alice Cooper open for him, and Alice Cooper blew the roof off the place, and then Motley Crue showed up, and we're like, "Holy crap, what happened?" It was sad because I don't want to go see some of my rock star heroes sound like that. So, to your question, when it's time to hang it up, it's time to hang it up, or find a range, find something you can do. If all you can do is the acoustic stuff, do the acoustic stuff.
Somebody had a great idea bringing like Sammy Hagar in, who I don't think would do it. Maybe he'd do it for a couple shows. Mm-hmm. But I think that would be a lot of fun having a huge guest star sing those songs.
What was the other guy? Was it Karabi?
Oh yeah, why not? I don't know what he's doing now, but all right. I'll be back to you in just a little bit. We'll have a little nightcap together. All right, let me bring in my sister's special guest all the way from Cincinnati, Ohio. You look comfortable.
Oh, I am. You'll have to excuse my parents. I've been at 9-year-old soccer tournament
Oh,
for
how'd everyone
6 hours.
How'd they do?
Good, Sam. Sam won both his games, so
Nice.
yeah, he's going on tomorrow. So yeah,
Wow. So you
Yeah.
have to go tomorrow.
I have to go tomorrow.
Isn't there a part of you that was like, I hope he loses today?
Sometimes
Yeah.
the games don't start until like 5 tomorrow.
Ooh.
It's the last tournaments we had started at. We had to get them there at 7, and you know darn well Eddie and Trey were not at those games. So yeah,
Yeah.
Mom.
Mom was there, I'm sure.
Mom was there. Yeah.
Yeah. How is mom doing?
Good. She's home.
Oh, I thought she was there.
No, she left last night.
Okay.
Yeah.
She never told me. But she was with you for what, 2 weeks?
Just 1 week.
1 week.
Yeah.
I'm lost on time.
That's okay. That's okay.
But that's the whole year and a half.
So I wanted to share that Cincinnati was named one of the best 10 staycation places in all the U.S. So
Oh, okay.
I know your listening audience probably is not super familiar with Cincinnati, but
Why don't you tell us a little bit about Cincinnati?
I highly recommend coming to Cincinnati.
Okay, now what you got to tell me a little bit more about Cincinnati. I visited you a few times.
Yeah.
The last time I wanted to see the city, and Eddie drove through the city at like 40 miles an hour.
Well, you were here for
there's
like
that.
2
There's
days.
that. There's where Jesse works. Boom. I'm like, where's the Cincinnati WKRP in Cincinnati found? Right there. Okay.
Actually, a lot of the fun is outside of the city now. The breweries have exploded out here. There
Yeah.
are so many great breweries. Even like we're in the suburbs, so even within 5-10 minute drive from where we live.
Well, I know for Christmas we got. I think it was Christmas or his birthday. We got Eddie a few 6-packs, and when I was looking for breweries, they were popping up all around you,
Yeah.
and that's not even in the city.
Yeah, and very good, not just like
Yeah.
but the beers are really good, and the whole hard seltzer is starting to explode here as well. So a lot of the breweries also are making their own hard seltzers, and even making their own hard liquor as well. So
Oh, that's cool.
They're expanding as well.
You have a great zoo.
Yeah. So I mean, this stuff for families to do is awesome as well. Cincinnati Zoo is usually in the list of top 1 or 2 zoos in the country. All natural habitats. Some of you might have seen, we have a very famous hippo that lives in our zoo called Fiona. She was born 3 or 4 years ago, maybe, but she was born as a preemie.
Okay.
And she got like national attention because she had to get hand raised by the folks at the zoo because she was too small for her mom to raise. So that's one of our claim to fame. Sports. I mean,
Well, but you have 2 stadiums
we
right
do. We have
downtown.
2 stadiums downtown. Easy to get tickets. That's the one thing that's good, especially the baseball. You can take your family to a baseball game on the spur of the moment. Forget about trying to do that with the Red Sox. But
Bruins tickets right now, because we're in the playoffs, Bruins tickets are going like for $5,000.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Right.
But for $5, you can go to a Reds game,
Yep.
right? Or you can go to a Browns game. No, it's
Bengals.
Cleveland. Bengals, yeah.
You can drive to Cleveland, but
yeah.
So I mean, we have
I
a finished basement, so anyone that wants to come and visit, just let me know.
I think you should rent it out as a bed and
Yeah,
breakfast. We'll announce that right now.
Airbnb, Rowan House.
Do they get breakfast though? Would they get that?
I have
Make
frozen
your own
pancakes and frozen waffles. Your choice.
Well, Molly and I are trying to figure out a time. Well, you're coming back home because you're from this area.
Yep, and then I think Jack's coming back.
Yeah, Jack's going to fly back with Nana, and then we're thinking about the fall when we can drive out there because if we're going to drive, we should probably spend a week.
Yes.
So start making plans with all that fun stuff happening in Cincinnati.
All
right. Good to see you. Say hi to the whole family. I love you too.
Will do. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. And that's my sister, Jessica. It's funny because she's been living out there for a long time, but they visit a ton. So it's not like I haven't seen her in ages. I mean, it's been a long time because of COVID, obviously, but I do get to see her more than most people do. And then I've got a son out in LA, and I got to go visit him a little bit more too. That's kind of driving me nuts because I don't think he's coming home anytime. Well, he is coming home in August, but to stay, I don't know. He's enjoying his time out there. All right. I'm just waiting for Gerald. I don't know where Jerry is. I don't know if he goes by Jerry or if he goes by Gerald. I'm not sure. I'm not 100%. So we'll have to, that's something we'll learn about Gerald/Jerry. Not just about Jeeps, but we'll learn about how he prefers to be addressed. I think that'll be a lot of fun. And I'm going to give him 2 minutes. I'm going to try to kill some time right here. Just kind of scatting, I suppose. A little rock and scat here while I wait for Jerry. This is what I do in the radio, by the way. I feel like I have 2 or 3 minutes to kill, and I just kind of say things. And half the time, none of them make sense. They really don't. In my head, they do, and then I think about it. I'm like, what did I just say? That's actually kind of crazy. Let's see what Shah has to say. I'm a speech pathologist, and I work with local musicians for free. Oh, thank you for supporting local music to develop a vocal hygiene program to keep their voices healthy. Well, why don't you share with me, Shah, one of those tricks? Because as a singer, I want to make sure when I go out on stage that my voice is top notch. And I used to think it was doing a shot or two of whiskey, and I don't think alcohol on the vocal cords is a good thing, unless you're going for that gravelly voice. But what's one thing I should do before I go on stage? Should I be gargling with something? Should I be doing my vocal exercises, which is always embarrassing at the bar? If you're playing at a small bar, you don't want to be standing in the back of the room doing vocal exercises when everyone can see you. So what is something I can do in the privacy of my own little bubble that's not going to cause a lot of attention? I would love to know that. And Jerry/Gerald, I'm going to give him just another minute here. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Did I play everything I was going to play? I do believe I did. You've got the Country Fest thing. I hope everybody shows up. Oh, yeah, Dawn. That's right. So we went to the show with Jay and Dawn. Dawn is Jay's significant other. And Tommy, no, don't think. Tommy did show up halfway through the show. Tommy is very vocal during a Motley Crue show, or always has been. And this one particular show, he was just hiding in the background. He didn't even have a spotlight on him. He was very quiet. And then about halfway through, drummer goes in the back, and then Tommy comes out and does a whole shtick and talks to everybody. And then I think he went up and played, but he was still very quiet. Now, these guys could just be sick once in a while. I mean, that happens. I wish they didn't try to deceive the crowd, which Kiss is going to be doing very soon. And when I went to see the original lineup of Kiss, maybe 10, 15 years ago, it was not Ace Frehley and it was not Peter Criss. It just wasn't. We know that. But they were introduced as Peter Criss and Ace Frehley. Deception. I don't like that. Tell me Tommy's not feeling well. We got another drummer tonight, and it's this guy. And then everyone would cheer for that guy. And then that guy would get recognition and feel good about himself. And then maybe he'll go out and say, you know what? I'm as good as Tommy Lee. I'm starting my own band. And then before you know it, that guy who played drums that one time is going to be the next Dave Grohl, who turns into the next Dave Grohl, if you know what I mean, if you follow that. Honey tea. Yeah, Jeff, I've used honey tea. Usually I dilute it with a little whiskey. I think I have a problem. But you know what? When you're in a local band, it just really doesn't matter. When you're making $50 a night, it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Hold on. Great timing. Wrong movie, but great timing. Close enough.
Wait a minute. There you go. How about that?
There you go. That's much better. So we talked about that. Oh, before we get into all this, and I don't think Jerry/Gerald's going to be joining me tonight, and that's okay. Let's do this. It's Jay, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm on so early. I usually don't show up until around 8:30.
I know, right? Oh, yeah, really. Well, I had Vicky on, and she has something that she couldn't join me for tonight. But
Yep.
And then Gerald, I was going to talk to him about Jeeps. That's it. It's a slow night. I mean, the whole night, the whole payoff, I think, was Brian from Kicks.
Completely. He was awesome.
He's great. He was very shy guy.
a very happy-go-lucky guy, just having a good time.
Yeah, I mean, he could be just some guy that plays in a local band around here. He's very approachable, very nice, very. And I heard that about him. He's just a very nice guy, one of the nicest guys playing the game.
Nice.
What's new with you? How are you?
Well, can we talk about something? How what's going on in the news these days? How they're
Are
basically
people being abducted again?
No, man. Every single day in the news, you start hearing more and more about aliens, but no one's batting an eye or saying anything. They're just like, we don't know exactly what it is. We're not saying it's aliens, but we're not saying it's not. And it's happening like all the time now.
I think the general public just knows it's true. So when they come out and say, "Oh, there might be something," we're like, "We already know. We already know. Show us something."
Sure, but no, they did. They've been showing us stuff. All that footage of the fighter jets, following.
Oh
this
yeah,
thing.
yeah. But I mean, I want them to have a press conference and say, "Check out the big rig behind us." We don't know where that's from.
I don't know about that. The first time that'll happen is when they put on an intergalactic, concert for you. They're just going to show up with this huge stadium, and you'll be able to see it up there.
I have nightmares about alien, not invasions, and it's a recurring nightmare. I don't know if it's a nightmare, but it is kind of creepy. To picture something in the sky that you can't explain has got to be a mind f. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I'm in somebody's yard, and it's a big yard. It's a childhood friend, and we're all waiting for something. Nobody knows what they're waiting for, but we're waiting. And then before you know it, the sky lights up and a big UFO appears. And then I don't know what happens after that, but it gives me chills.
Intergalactic concert, Ray. That's what's happening. You're just waking up too soon, man. I'm telling you, because you've had a bunch of reoccurring dreams. And I remember the last one you told me about. That one was kind of demented. So
about Diane Franklin? I'll tell everybody. I've had dreams.
I didn't.
Huh?
Go ahead.
I've had dreams of Diane Franklin, who is in Better Off Dead and Last American Virgin, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. She was on the show last week. You can watch our conversation on my YouTube page. She's a sweetheart. Anyway, and I didn't tell her this. I told you after. I've had dreams about her with a penis. I don't know why. But Diane Franklin has a penis in my dreams. And it's been like 3 or 4 times. That's it. Maybe 10.
It's very sleepaway camp. That's exactly what that is, man. It's like you're hanging out, you just bought her a nice dinner, and then the reveal happens. You're like, whoa!
I want to just check in with Shah here. I can't read it if I can't. Hold on. Warm-ups are always good. Keep your vocal folds hydrated from... Oh, look at that. Okay. From the inside by drinking water, from the outside by breathing in steam. Okay. Fill a sink with hot water. Yeah. Especially if you're in a smoky environment. Luckily, we're not in smoky environments anymore here in Massachusetts. Use before you avoid alcohol as much as possible. Oh, you lost me there, Shah. But I know what you mean. One more thing. Hold on. Just in case we have any singers. She means Munaki, Monica. I don't know what that is, but it's honey. Okay. Let's bring in one of our friends here. We've got. He's changed the name of the country to Riceland.
Oh, I didn't fix that from last week.
No. How are you?
Good. How are you?
We're pretty good. I'm pretty good. Jay, did we establish you're good?
I'm good.
Jay, the hair's looking good, Jay.
It's just a ponytail.
It works.
It was with all this humidity, I couldn't do a thing with it. So
yeah, same here.
Well, it's funny. I was looking at some old pictures of the three of us back when we were starting to do distracted driving, and the head of hair on you, Tim. Jesus, and now with nothing.
You know what? I've got Gerald on with me. Can you guys just hold on for 1 sec?
Later.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on 1 sec. There he is. It's
What's
Gerald
up,
from 401 Jeep Wave. What's up, man?
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Sorry for the being late.
That's okay. So I'm glad to have you on because I just bought a Jeep and I have so many questions. Let me just show everybody the Willies that we just leased
Nice.
from Imperial Cars in Mendon. This is such a beautiful Jeep. Is it? I mean, you're a Jeep guy. Is the Willys a good choice?
It is. So Willys is. So they have different models of Jeep. So they have a sport model, which is basically sport roll-up windows, as base as you can get. Nothing too fancy. Then they have the Sahara, which is what I have, which is like color, match fenders. Sometimes you have to come with a color matched hot top. And then after that, they have all sorts of models. They have the Call of Duty. They have the Rubicon edition, which is the top of the line. They have the Willys. There's got to be at least 7 or 8 different models that are in between the Sahara and the Rubicon. But basically, all they are is the name brand or the name of the Jeep itself. They kind of what they basically do is they typically keep the suspension the same and throughout all of them. That's basically what they do. So I'm assuming yours. I'm not sure if it's lifted or not. It looks that it's lifted, but I want to say the Willys, the Call of Duty, the Modern Warfare one, and the Mojave one all have the Rubicon suspension in it.
Okay. I'm
almost positive.
These can be collectibles, right? I mean, it seems like it's almost like I don't know, like Matchbox cars. Like I want to get this edition, and they put the new Corvette edition out, the 2021. You could easily just collect Jeeps.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I got into Jeeps maybe about 3 years ago, give or take. My sister, I'm gonna try to switch the camera. Trying to see where the camera is. Cam. Oh, hold on 1 second.
You can do that on your phone?
That's what I'm trying to do.
You're way ahead of me as far as technology goes.
All right, well, I'm just gonna turn my phone around because I can't find where it is. So if you guys can see the purple one that's in my
I see. Yep.
That's actually my sister's. So before she had that one, she had bought a white 4-door. She lifted it, put 33s on it. She did a little bit of everything, and I ended up I had a pickup and I ended up totaling it. So needless to say, a couple of days go by and my dad's like, well, instead of looking for a truck, because every truck I went to go look at was rotted or had this problem, had that problem, I just asked her, said, what would you say to me buying a Jeep? And she's like, well, as long as it's not white and as long as it's not a 4-door. And I'm like, well, it is white, but it's not a 4-door unless I buy the 4-door. And she's like, what do you mean? So I showed her the 2 that I wanted. And she's like, yeah, you're not buying the 4-door. She's like, you can buy the 2-door. So then I'm like, all right, well, everyone knows a traditional Jeep Wrangler is a 2-door. That's just what they've been. And the 4-doors are more like the family type of car.
Right.
It's more of a Grand Cherokee style, but you're going to have more fun with it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of space in there too, because we do have 2 kids, and one of the issues was getting into the back seat. So happy with the 4-door. We could even go bigger. What do you think of the Gladiator? Is that really a Jeep?
So I like them to a certain extent. So I have a lot of people in my club. I have a guy on my committee who his Jeep is actually called the Stormtrooper. It's 2020 Gladiator Overland. So basically, the Overland edition on the Gladiators is got the same suspension that the Rubicon does, same lift, same size tires, same everything. It's a different model. It comes with like leather seats, higher fenders. There's just a couple more different options than the other ones have with the Sahara and all that stuff. But personally, unless a Gladiator is done up, lift, wheels, tires, stuff like that, light bars and all that stuff, I like them. But if they're not done up and they're just base wheels, no lift on it, nothing. To me personally, I don't really like them just because I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And there was a lot on the lot.
It just looks like a pickup truck to me, to be honest.
That's right.
It basically is, but.
Yeah, it's a 4-door Jeep with the pickup truck back to it, and there was like 10 of them on the lot, and only 3 Wranglers. And luckily, this one was there, and we're like, oh, you know what? We actually like that. We didn't have to do a lot of shopping, and that was our baby. So tell me what. That's the first one. We're brand new to the Jeep world. Now, you guys rode in our parade. The Milford 4th of July parade last year, and unfortunately we're not doing it this year, and we look forward to having you back next year. You guys really brought it. I did not realize that there were clubs. Like you are the 401 Jeep Wave or the Rhode Island Jeep Wave. What does a Jeep club do?
So there are certain clubs throughout the state of Rhode Island. There's us. There's RI Jeeps. There's 401 Jeeps, 401 Jeep Wave, Ocean State Jeepsters. There's about five or six of them in the state of Rhode Island. I know Ocean State Jeepsters, they do a lot of wheeling, like off-road parks. They travel to New Hampshire, travel to Mass. They do a lot of events where they put on a booth. They try to sell some stuff. Try to make appointments. For whatever if people want to modify their Jeeps. My club, however, my club started. I want to say I've had my Jeep for I always look back to see how long I've had my Jeep. So I've had my Jeep for 3 years, going on 4. I want to say maybe 2.5 years ago, I went to a Jeep run up in Tewksbury, Mass, and it was a Jeep and bike run for the disease known as step. So there was probably, I'd say there was more bikes than Jeeps, but between bikes and Jeeps together, there had to be about 250 of us. And we paraded all the way through from Tewksbury, Mass, a little bit of like the southern part of New Hampshire where the border was, a little bit of Vermont. It kind of took us about an hour and a half or so. It was a really nice ride. They raised some money. They had police officers that were there on the slip and slide. And one of the ladies had asked me, she's like, "Where are you from?" Because she's never seen my Jeep before. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm from Rhode Island." She's like, so I don't really say where I'm actually from because no one knows Johnston unless you're actually in Rhode Island or like in the surrounding areas like Milford, Worcester, that areas. So I just said I'm from Providence. And she says to me, she's like, "How far did you drive?" And I'm like, "I don't know, hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes. It didn't take me that long. It took me a little longer to have my flags on, but whatever." And she says to me, she's like, "Why don't you start a club down in your state?" And I'm like, "Well, they have Ocean State Jeepsters. Everyone calls them OSJ." And I'm like, "Yeah, what am I gonna do? Like, how am I gonna start it?" So I went on Facebook and I was on this page that's no longer there. It was Jeeps JK JLS, which the JL is the newer model Jeep, which is the one you have, of New England. So I was on it and I just asked, "Is anybody on this page from Rhode Island or Seekonk, Uxbridge, whatever?" And this girl happened to answer, and she said, "Yeah, I'm from Cranston." So I'm like, "Why is there no Rhode Island, chapter groups or whatever?" And she said to me, she goes, "There is, but they do strictly wheeling." I said, "Well, I'm not wheeling my Jeep. I just bought it. I'm not, gonna."
Now, what's wheeling? What's wheeling?
So wheeling is basically if you have a Jeep that is designed to go in the woods. I don't say you beat the crap out of it, but like you go up against, rocks. It's kind of like no holds barred in the woods. So you deflate your tires down to basically nothing when you have bead locks. So bead locks is a particular wheel setup that holds the bead on the wheel, and it keeps about 0 to 5 psi left in the tire, just enough so that way it can slowly crawl over a rock and grip it at the same time. So they do a lot of wheeling and a lot of off-roading. And I had said to myself, I said, "Well, I just bought my Jeep and I'm not going to take it in the woods and destroy it. I paid for it. I cherish my Jeep." And I said, I'm going to start a club. So that was about 2.5 years ago. Last year, or the year before that, rather, we only had, a few members in it or so. And then the pandemic hit. And I said to myself, well, we were supposed to join Ocean State Jeepsters in a kind of like a frontline first responders and frontline workers parade through some of the hospitals. And me and one of the guys kind of had a salty look on the way I interpreted it and the way I wanted to run it. So we kind of like split off, and I kind of ran my own and he ran his own, and I ended up having about 100 Jeeps and 60 tow trucks. We shut down the highways. We shut down South County, Rhode Island, Kent County, Rhode Island, and it kind of took off from there. So what
were the tow trucks for? Just in case?
So the thing behind the tow trucks was the tow trucks had done support the frontline workers and the first responders. of like the hospitals during the beginning of the pandemic when it was really bad. I mean, not that it's not any worse than it is now, but in its prime when it was like 2020 of last year of March and April, and they first did one for Hasbro Children's Hospital, Rhode Island Hospital, Women and Infants. They went down there. They blared their sirens if they had them, their air horns. They donated pizza and donuts and all that stuff. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna invite them. So I invited them, and we had a turnout about 60 tow trucks, because they were eventually going to do a couple of hospitals, and I was already doing them, so I actually invited them to come. So we ended up, joining forces per se, and we had, like I said, 60 tow trucks, 85 to 100 jeeps. We had all food donated from local market, Stop and Shop, BJ's, Walmart. People, they went out, they bought supplies, they donated it to us. We had 10 four-door jeeps, fully loaded with items that went to the hospital, to South County and Kent Hospital. We had a woman down in Narragansett, Rhode Island, that actually had an entire neighborhood filled up with 10 by 20 landscaping trailer.
Wow.
She donated that to half and half of the hospitals. And then we also had 2 flatbeds donated a container all to the hospitals as well. That was our first rally. And that's kind of where my club took off. And then we started another one. I want to say maybe about 3 to 4 weeks later. That was for, I want to say it was Fatima Bradley Hospital, which was for the kids out in East Providence.
Yep.
The other one was Landmark out in Woonsocket, and the VA hospital in Providence, the Veterans Hospital in Providence, had 130 jeeps and 30 tow trucks.
Wow.
We shut down 146, shut down the highway, shut down the main roads. So my group has really taken off. We do a lot of things with first responders, frontline workers. Last year we did about 150 birthday parades because obviously with COVID you couldn't have a birthday. So my group was doing a lot. People were messaging the group trying to get us to do birthday parades. There was times that we were doing 6 or 7 in a day on a Saturday, going from one point of the state to the other side. So it really took off.
Yeah, that's great. And you did our Milford 4th of July parade, and you guys put on an awesome show.
We had about 70 jeeps or so.
There was a lot. Yeah, it was quite the presence.
Yeah.
Shanna Jackman's watching. Hi, Shanna. She says
Shanna.
hi. She says you got a great group. I have not committed to a group yet. I am still new, and I'm taking. I guess I'm taking like sort of like quotes right now. You can try to wow me into your group. And I'm there. I'm almost there with you. I need to talk to a few other groups and see where I stand. But
Shanna Jackman,
I haven't committed to anybody yet.
Shanna Jackman's actually our go-to singer for the national anthem and a couple of her songs that she has. So me and Shanna actually got together. We did an event back around I want to say August, give or take. It was with I want to say it was at Southwick Zoo.
Yep. I was there.
What's that?
We played. I was there. We played that night. The Tailgates Down played.
Yeah. We had
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we had about 350 Jeeps came through on that night. Everyone was so worried about the rain. I'm like, guys, it's gonna be fine, and ended up being a nice night. Sun came out. We had a good time. Saw the animals. Had a good time, and then just event by event, we've been getting bigger. We had a 4th of July parade for the hospital, for Hasbro Children's Hospital. We did 130 Jeeps that night. We raised $1,000 at Texas Roadhouse the night before. And then the following day was 4th of July. We paraded from Cumberland all the way to Garden City in Cranston. We had 150 that day.
Wow.
Those were kind of, at the time, those were one of our biggest ones. And then as we were getting bigger and bigger, and my club started growing in the numbers, we started getting a lot more presence at some of the events. I think the biggest one I ever had, we did a 9/11 memorial ride. We started it in East Greenwich, and we went all the way down to the State House in Providence. We had 250 Jeeps.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Yeah, we shut down Route 102, shut down Route 6, shut down the highways, had a police escort the entire way. Every fire station I coordinated. My committee actually went on the Monday night on Labor Day, and we actually marked out every time frame that we were going to be passing the fire station, so I could coordinate with them, trying to figure out what time we were going to be by.
Yep.
It was quite a surprise to everyone to see 250 Jeeps going through the state.
Sure.
To this date, we have almost 2,300 members.
Wow, that's awesome. So
And
you guys have social media, of course. You're on
Yep,
Facebook.
So we have a couple of different things. So for Jeep members that want to join, all you got to do is go to 401 Jeep Wave on Facebook. And we have a couple questions you're going to answer on there. They're just very self-explanatory, no bullying. We have a couple people that we do merchandise with. Don't try to sell stuff that's on there unless it's Jeep-related parts. We're a good community in Rhode Island, trying to, just help everybody out.
Yeah, have a good time and give back.
Yeah, and then the other most important thing is it says what type of Jeep you have. So you got to answer the questions that's on there. We have another page that's RI Jeep Wave. It's also us, but that one's strictly for businesses to reach out and get in touch with us. People like yourself, if you have kids and you're not on the group, who wants to do a birthday run for you, you kind of message the RI Jeep Wave. You answer us. One of the people on the committee will answer it. There's about I want to say there's 13 people on my committee.
Awesome.
And then we have an Instagram that's 401 Jeep Wave. And there's only 2 people that run that, myself and my girlfriend. We're the only 2 that have access to running it. Monitoring it 24/7.
Well, we look forward to seeing you at the next parade next year. Again, unfortunately, we couldn't do it this year. We have a few small things planned for the community, but we'll have you back next year. We look forward to seeing you. Before I let you go, can we do the wave? Or should we? Is that just for Jeep people? Oh, there we go. That was so much fun. The first day I did that my kids were going nuts because like 3 in a row did that to me, and they were so happy. It was cute. It's fun. It's it's like it's a community, and it's a brother and sisterhood.
Is what it is.
It's what?
It's a second family is what it is.
Yeah, it is. And I'm really enjoying it so far. So maybe I'll see you at a rally. Maybe I'll see you at Southwick Zoo. I'll definitely see you at the parade next year.
Yep. If you are free, anyone who wants to come, it's open to the public. On June 27th between 12 and 5, my club is doing an event called 401 Jeep Wave. And Ocean State Food Trucks is on a mission. And basically what we're doing is we have 17 or 18 sponsors who have donated money to Mission 22. So for those that don't know what Mission 22 is, Mission 22 helps veterans, first responders with PTSD, thoughts of suicide, anything that helps them. It basically brings awareness to them. And the 22 in Mission 22 is 22 people commit suicide a day. And we are right now we have about 70 people going and 330 interested with 82 shares. So we're gonna be over there. There's supposed to be 15 food trucks with a beer garden on tap, 15 beers. Police departments are gonna be there. Fire departments are gonna be there. So it's open to the public. I want to say it's a $10 donation to get in. They're all day long. There's bocce. There's gonna be cornhole, volleyball. It's gonna be a good time, and it's on the water, so you can't get any better than that.
Nice. All right, and I know if you go to the Facebook group or the page, you can get information about that. Hey, Gerald, thank you so much, man. It was great talking to you.
You too. I'll see you in Milford hopefully next year.
Absolutely. Have a great weekend.
You too. Take care.
All right. See ya.
Yeah.
I love my Jeep. I do. And hold on one sec. Yeah, I do. And next time I have my foot up your ass, I'll tell you all about it. All right, let's bring back Jay and Tim. Where's Tim? That's Justin. That's our buddy Justin. I'm very proud of my Jeep. Have you guys ever owned a Jeep in your life? No?
No Jeep.
No Jeep. I could see both of you, though, someday retiring with a Jeep.
It's funny. I told Dawn that I kind of wanted a Jeep. Yep. And she told me that they have very bad control and she was very negative towards the Jeeps.
They make them a lot sturdier these days.
I believe it. I just like the way they look. That's all.
I think Dawn would look fantastic in a Jeep.
She'll look fantastic in anything.
And sometimes that's all that matters is how you look in that Jeep. And I got to tell you too. And Justin, I'm going to talk about it a little bit more. You feel like a different person when you're driving a Jeep. Not that I needed to feel like a different person, but you've got there's a confidence level that builds within your gut and your soul when you're just driving doing this every once in a while. It's fun. And that's all I'll say about it. Until the next time I talk more about it.
You seem very excited. Tim, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Okay. So what do you think of all of this UFO stuff going around?
I think there's UFOs.
Well, yeah, I know, but do you notice they're on the news all the time now?
Because the government's trying to distract us from the real problems, Jay.
I know, but they're really telling us that aliens are out there, man.
I'll take that distraction though. I want to hear more about the UFOs and less about, the big comet that's coming towards us.
It's only going to be
that distraction
miles away. It's actually pretty damn close.
Wait, This is the first I'm hearing about this comet. I'm paying attention.
Oh, it's coming. We just don't know when or how or when.
Oh, okay.
I
didn't know if this was something that was just released. No, I believe UFOs.
There really is. There's an asteroid coming. And it's only a few million miles away from the Earth.
Yeah, I don't go to Framingham because it's 12 miles. So, I mean, I'm not that worried about the few million mile comet or asteroid.
The way I look at it is I've got, 30 more good years left on this earth, maybe.
30?
Probably maybe the last 10 will be me in a home. I don't know.
You in a home that looks like a Jeep.
So I'm okay with whatever's to come. And I feel bad for my kids, obviously.
No, that's a horrible wish. No, you've got children.
I don't wish it. I'm okay with it.
I understand, but I can't be okay with something that's going to destroy my children.
No, but it's inevitable. I just think I'm going to get my 20 more years out of this world.
What was the
I don't think anything will happen in the next 20 years.
We are not here so much longer than we are. Like that whole concept of there were all those years before you were born. There's all those years after you're dead. So what the hell do we care?
Yeah. Well, if you think about how long we have been here, we are a sliver. It's a sliver of time. Our presence is a sliver. So why do we think that the world's going to end in 10 years?
Who said that?
Well, I mean, all you hear is like, oh, the end is near, and times are so bad right now. But times have been bad before. Times were bad back in biblical times.
I believe that's when the end was nigh.
Nigh.
Nigh is another word for near.
Yeah.
Am I frozen?
Yes.
Yeah, you look good though.
Yeah. You know what I'm fascinated with is how patchy, how blotchy my skin gets as this show progresses. I've been looking at myself all night. I just find that fascinating.
It's the drinking.
Yeah. I had a normal complexion when we started, and now I do not.
Don't blame the booze. The booze is not to be blamed.
It's age, and I don't give a shit because I only got 20 more years. Oh, we just lost him. That's a triple, man.
That is a triple.
You're playing serious game tonight.
It's delicious. I
love my gin. This could be my new drink. Straight up, it was just straight up gin. It's a Danny DeVito. It's got a sliver. Well, not a sliver, but what would you call that? A little ribbon of cucumber. And then you pour some gin over it, and I'm living a Kiss song all night.
It's cold gin time again. So
that's right. Okay,
you were showing me your singles.
Yeah,
and I just grabbed some the cassettes I had actually there. So I got the Motley Crue, Theater of Pain.
Yep. I'm watching. I'm listening.
White Lion.
Yep.
White Lion.
Yeah.
Wait, White Lion.
A lot of White Lions.
I got Twisted Sister, Under the Blade. I got You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. Stay Hungry. Come Out and Play. And then this one doesn't belong, but there it is, Tears for Fears.
Yeah.
I got Tesla. Nice.
Oh, nice.
Trick or Treat. This is the original soundtrack by Fastway. And I also got Trickster. Do you remember Trickster?
Dude, I love Trickster. I just played them the other day on my
Oh, did you?
Totally Awesome A's Wednesday. Yeah.
What was their big hit?
Give It to Me Good.
Yep.
And Runaway Train, that was like their ballad.
No, that's
Balladish
Soul
one?
Asylum.
Yeah, but they had
Yeah.
a train song. What's that one, Jay?
I don't know. I'm looking. No train song on this one, at least.
No?
Nope.
Hold on.
You got Line of Fire, Heart of Steel, One in a Million, Surrender.
One
Give
in
It
a
to
Million. That was a big one for them.
Number 6, Only Young Once, Bad Girl, Always a Victim, Play Rough, You'll Never See Me Crying, Ride the Whip, and on.
Which album is that?
That is just Trickster, I believe.
Trickster.
Okay, so their second album here had Runaway Train. So, yeah. Those guys were great. And the story was with them is they were straight out of high school or something. And they had like a little story behind them. My White Snake, you can't hold it like this. That's different. And then I've got Slip of the Tongue too, White Snake. And I've got a whole bunch more.
Same with this, Ray. Tesla.
There you go. The name of the band is just way too long. That's the problem. So they had to do it sideways.
No, it's not. It's Tesla.
Look at that. They fit New Kids on the Block in a vertical pattern here. AC/DC Fly on the Wall. That's a good one. This is fascinating. Tim, what did you bring for show and tell?
All my cassettes. I'm too lazy to get out of the chair because I'm on drugs. So.
Oh, are you? How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Apparently, I'm not old enough to break my hip. I'm just in pain. I had X-rays and no broken hip.
Oh, you got the comedy stuff.
Ireland, yeah.
Eddie Merle, that was a good one.
So I'm not a huge fan. Actually, I'm a huge fan of his first album. But John Mayer, you know John Mayer, right?
Yeah.
He just released an album today. You gotta go search the album cover. It's awesome. It looks like it's from a bin, like the 99 cent special. It's a really cool album cover.
He's got a live, maybe it's a double disc, but the live one is amazing. That guy, as far as the blues goes, he kills it. I don't think people realize what kind of musician he is.
I saw him right when his first album came out at, I think it was Lubo's in Providence.
Yep.
It was me and like 65 guys just watching this kid shred the guitar. And it was unbelievable. I remember coming home and telling Barbie, like, I just saw like the next greatest thing in the world. and then Your Body is a Wonderland came out and completely changed who his audience was.
Oh yeah.
But the new album cover is really cool.
Hold on, I've got it. It's coming. It's coming. It's like it's almost like Billy Squier.
Oh, that's yeah. So on the one I saw, they actually have this sticker.
Oh, do they? Yeah.
On it, like Best Buy, like discount rack.
Yep. That's all I have. Anywho, Born and Raised. That's a good song, and it's a good album.
Yeah. I'm frozen again.
Yeah, I know. That's okay. We don't have to go too long here. I started watching Sweet Tooth. Have you guys? I mean, it just came out today about the end of the world and children who are like have animal features. Bye, Tim.
It's actually it was a Vertigo comic book that came out. I want to say about 10 years ago, 8 years ago, right around there. So it's based on a comic book.
It's fun. I'm 2 episodes in. It's I almost thought I should have waited for the kids to watch it with the kids. I don't know how graphic it might get as it goes on. But the first 2 are pretty tame.
It's a Vertigo line, so they were the mature line of comics. So I'm sure it's going to get crazy.
It might. Have you seen anything good lately?
What the hell did we watch? Oh, I was saying we were watching the newest Wipeout last night, and I love Wipeout. Even though John Cena and the other girl that's it, they're horrible commentators. But the Wipeout itself is still fun to watch. Them actually trying to run the course.
I had no idea it was still on.
Oh yeah, new season. But the cool thing is we saw that Holy Moly with Ron Riggle is coming back at the end of this month, man.
Holy moly, that's great news.
It's such a great show.
which is Wipeout on a golf course, a mini golf
Yes.
course.
Yes.
Pretty much. And Rob Riggle is amazing.
Makes the show.
I forget the other guy. He's pretty funny too. But
He plays a good straight man to his comedy.
he's an actual sports commentator, the other guy.
Well, he plays off well with Ron.
You can see that it's sometimes, well, it's obviously scripted, but then Rob Riggle will say something off the cuff, and the other guy will just burst out laughing. And although it's a produced, scripted show, it's very like off the cuff at times and hilarious.
If you see what Don wrote, we talk about this many a time, that we wish that we could rent out the Wipeout track just so that all our friends could go there. Man, it looks like such a blast.
I'm going back a little bit. Singles. I missed all these.
And we've been watching Titans.
Okay.
I don't know if you've been watching anything on HBO Max.
I watched the new Angelina Jolie movie.
How was it?
It was okay. It's like an action movie. It was almost like a current Bruce Willis action movie where he doesn't do a lot of this stuff on his own, but there's a lot of close-ups of him.
He's old.
He is. And Angelina Jolie is not old, but I don't think she's as action-oriented as she used to be.
So we've been watching Titans, which is about a bunch of superheroes, but this is the rated R Titans. Not to mean that they're pirates, but everyone swears and they have sex and everything. So it's a very racy Titans that you get to see. So you get to see Robin, and there's actually 2 Robins. And you know what's awesome though? There's a couple of superheroes. I know you don't know a ton of superheroes, like the ones that are more obscure, but this is Hawk and Dove. And it's great because it's what's his name? It's Thad Castle who plays him from Blue Mountain State. He's been in a million things, but all I ever call him is Thad. And he's just awesome because he plays this. He's just a guy who's a superhero, and he fits the role perfectly. But if you haven't checked out Titans yet, watch one episode. I think you'll dig it.
I will. I didn't like the initial previews where he said something like "screw Batman." I didn't like that.
He said "fuck Batman."
That's what he said. That turned me off a bit. I'm a little testy because I'm very passionate about my ride now, about my whip. I'm calling it my whip. I don't know exactly what that means, but I hear kids saying it. I don't know if that's a thing. You don't know either. You have no idea. My mom had 2 Jeep Cherokees. I remember them well. I think when I first started driving, I was driving the Cherokee or one of the Cherokees. And no, it doesn't count, Ma. I'm sorry. Unless you convert it, put like a lift kit on it, maybe open it up, make it a convertible, it might be considered. You could bring that to a rally, but I don't think a standard, not a standard, but a standard Jeep Cherokee counts.
What about an automatic?
Automatic, absolutely, every day. Whip refers to a new car ride, so I was spot on. I was dead on there. I don't know what too predictable means.
I'm going to assume it was the Angelina Jolie movie.
Oh, maybe. That's my cousin Kim right there. Please be specific about your Jeep. Molly does. She does drive it more than I do. It's true. I wanted a Renegade. That's what I really want. I want to go back and get one of those like original 80s Renegades. Those were the Jeeps I grew up with that I loved. But I'm going to stop talking about Jeeps.
Yeah, Styx sung about those. The Renegade. Styx, they sung about the Renegade.
They did. They absolutely did. And then there was that show in the 80s that lasted half a season, Renegades. Do you remember that?
Renegade. Yeah, no, wasn't that with, what's his name, with the long hair, Renegade, and didn't that last a long time?
I don't think it lasted too long, but I think it was a show about a street gang.
Oh, we're thinking of different ones. I'm thinking of what the hell's his name?
Oh, you're thinking of Jack Bauer and Lou Diamond Phillips. They were in a movie called Renegades. They played cops.
You keep adding an S, and I keep telling you it's Renegade, and it was about
great Styx song.
Yes, long flowing hair. It was back in the probably the mid '90s, and he was like a Walker Texas Ranger.
Oh yeah, Lazama Yamos.
So yeah, that guy.
Maybe
Lorenzo Lamas.
That's it, Lorenzo Lamas. I'm thinking of a show.
La Llama.
2 syllables, 3 syllables. Hold on.
I can name that in 2 notes.
I have. Hold on. I'm trying to find some good pictures for you. You You keep doing what you're doing.
All right. So we also were watching that. Can you name that tune? And it's such a crappy show because remember when they actually had to name things in a couple of notes? So
Yes.
with the new thing is you have clues, and they're pretty obvious clues if you know music. So basically, it's like I can name that in one note. Oh, I can name that in 5. I can name that in 2. And it almost always comes down to 1 because I know what the clue is.
So it's really not a name that tune. It's name the tune if we give you some good clues. I don't like that at all, Jay.
No. Yes.
There he is. Now, so that's Renegade without the S. That is a singular Renegade. Now, for the plural, there were these guys in the 80s.
Wait,
look who's in the middle. Look who's in the middle right there.
Well, look who's on the left.
That's Takami or from Revenge of the Nerds. Takashi. Yeah. Oh,
I'm sorry, I don't know his real name, but yeah, man, he was one of the nerds. And look at there's Dalton.
Apparently, they were cops posing as a street gang, and that's all I can remember about that show.
I'm gonna have to check that out, man. That's awesome.
I remember, oh my God, this is all coming back. I remember watching one episode, and I was at my neighbor's house, Kim Luther, and we each took an identity of somebody from that show, and we did some role playing. Not that kind of role playing, you dick. We were 11 years old, but I remember that. Holy crap, that's funny.
His name Dalton.
Yeah. What does it say? Be nice until it's time not to be nice.
Right. You know what's funny too? They look like actually really pretty warriors. That's what they look like.
I think that's what the show is based on.
Oh, Jesus.
Sort of like loosely based on the Warriors. Because look at them. And they were probably fighting. They were cops fighting other gangs trying to get them off the street. I could be wrong. I don't know what the synopsis is on that, but everyone's going to go look that up right now.
Definitely.
That's it. So I started watching Matthew because of the Friends reunion. I started watching Matt LeBlanc's Man with a Plan, his sitcom.
Oh, yeah? And
it's not bad. It's cheesy. It's not according to Jim, but it's also not Friends. It's somewhere in the middle. It's kind of funny. I've been avoiding it since it's been on. I think it started in 2016.
Did you watch Joey when it came out?
Oh, Joey was great. It only lasted one season, though.
See, I never watched one episode. I mean, he was playing Joey, right?
Yeah, but it was a year or two after Friends, so we missed Joey. So that worked out. And this show it's good. He's older. I don't think.
Did anyone visit?
You know what? I don't know.
Huh.
I want to say that they did. I want to say there was an episode where Chandler and Ross visited him. They had to have been.
I hope so.
Yeah. Just for Joey's sake. I mean, you move to LA and your friends don't even come to visit you over the course of a season? That's not cool.
Bunch of jerks.
Yeah. Well, maybe they were all on a break. Yeah, live music started, Jay. What do you think of that? What do you think of live music? Are you excited to go see somebody play?
Of course, man. I'm going to try and get out at least a couple of your shows.
Well, Friday night, we are going to be at Pins. This was not planned to be a plug. But Friday night, the Pub Kings are at Pins. And we're going to be out on the patio. So that's a week from tonight. So there won't be a show, obviously. Oh, maybe we'll go live, though. That might be fun. We'll do a little live stream. But Pins has a bigger patio now. And they've got axe throwing inside. That's the form, by the way. Nope. It's on the wrist. You're missing yeah. Nope. You're not going to hit the bullseye with that. And Pins has bowling and all that. And they have beer. And they have seltzer, and they have liquor. So that's fun. What else, Jay? What else can we talk about? This is the speed round. This is the lightning round.
Oh, all right. So I've been working out now for the past 3 weeks.
I can tell.
And I still don't have any abs, and I'm kind of pissed about this.
Jay, I do have abs. I've been working out for a few months now, and one of my daily exercises is core. And I do have abs. They're just tucked under a lot of fat. Like if I squeeze, it's like, oh my God, there's something in there. But it's just hiding.
I think I was abducted by aliens and they removed my abs, and that's why I don't have them. It's the only thing that makes sense. I've been working out for almost 3 weeks now. No abs.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell is that about? like most of us during the pandemic, I stopped exercising.
Yeah.
During the summer and the fall, I was mountain biking with my buddies, and then once we stopped mountain biking, I was a slug. I did nothing. So 3 weeks ago, I'm like, I gotta do something, and I just started really hitting the eucalyptus or elliptical
Ukulele, I think is what it's
ukulele,
pronounced.
and and doing weight training. You know how sad my weight training is? Is that I'm benching, but I'm just benching the actual bar.
Well, hey, I'm using resistance bands. I look like an 80-year-old at the senior center at 12:30 doing the fitness class.
But just like Brand. That's right, Brand.
Yeah.
Stretch the thing.
Going back to pins, yeah, nothing will go wrong with axes and alcohol. It's true.
Oh, really?
True story.
You'd be surprised at how much can go wrong. Oh, wait. I get
Sarcasm.
it. I get it.
All right, bud. So it's supposed to be a beautiful weekend. I'm sure you'll be going to the flea market.
Oh, God, yeah. It's going to be a hot one on Sunday.
A hot one in the old town tonight, or today,
Yep.
or Sunday.
On Sunday.
You're not going to the flea market because you need to kayak. Sorry.
We can kayak after the flea, definitely.
There you go, Don. Compromise.
Well, no, I wake up crazy early to go to the flea market just because I wake up at like 6:30, 7 o'clock now, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm up, so I'll go to the flea market. And I do, and I sometimes find some good stuff like you've seen.
Yeah, and it's funny because you'll start posting things at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, he's been there and he's come back already. It's only 8 o'clock. Now, during non-COVID times, would you be getting up that early on a Sunday morning?
No. I try and sleep in. Well, for a while, I would set my alarm and I would do so. But then after a while, I was like, screw that. But now I can't sleep late anymore. I don't know what it is. I try my damnedest. I can't. I'm usually up every day between 6 and 7. That's what time I wake up. Now, I'll try and stay in bed a little bit longer, but...
Yeah, even if I go to bed like tonight, I'll go watch a movie. If I go to bed at 11, 12 o'clock, that might help. But I will still wake up at 4 o'clock because that's what time I normally get up.
Yeah, I mean, you wake up super early.
Right, but my internal clock will wake me up that early. And then maybe after I fight it, after I throw my internal clock against the wall... I will sleep until 6, maybe 5:30, and then I'm up, and then I look back and I'm like, Jesus, I got 4 hours sleep last night, but I'm wide awake.
Oh, it sucks. It absolutely sucks. But this is what happens when we get older.
That's right. So we had some of our friends were over. You didn't come, but we last weekend some friends came. Don't give me that look.
I was sad.
I don't feel bad for you.
I do.
But it was funny because I think at one point Tim looked at the clock and said, "Oh my God, it's 7:30," and then by 9, like everyone was like, "Yeah, we're going to bed. We'll see you." And there was no work the next day. Thank you so much to Brian, the damaged one Forsythe, for joining me. If you guys missed it, it was a fun conversation. I'll have it on the YouTube channel a little bit later on. This was, I mean, when you talk about 80s ballads, the 80s hair bands ballads, this one stands up there with the best.
Oh, I think it's in the top 5.
Gotta be.
Yep.
And then just the other stuff. I mean, so maybe you only know that because some people are like, oh, I love the 80s. I love that ballad. I love this ballad. And those were the big songs. But man, I mean, songs like Cold Blood and Blow My Fuse, they had some ripping songs.
Cold Blood is my favorite. I'll be honest. I didn't get their 2014 album, so I need to get that.
Yeah, listen to it. It was a lot of fun.
I believe it.
The earlier stuff, too, is kind of neat to listen to. It's got shades of what they became. It's still rock and roll, and you can see what direction they were going in. And then those three in the 80s, Midnight Dynamite, Blow My Fuse, and Hot Wire are that was their heyday.
Yep.
And it was just fun.
Awesome.
All right, buddy.
Thank
Well,
you,
take
as always,
care.
Ray.
Yeah.
I
And
will.
what are we doing? Do we know what we're doing Sunday night for
No,
Chicken Chat?
we usually find out what we're doing on Saturday.
That's good. Chicken Chat is presented by Rubber Chicken Comics, and Jay is the owner of that fine establishment. If you're in Bellingham, make sure you go check it out. Not just comic books, but albums and pop figures and toys. I love perusing all all that stuff. You never know what you're going to find. There's always a treasure in there.
We try.
Yeah. All right, bud. Well, have a good weekend, and I'll catch up with you soon.
Yes, you will.
Thanks for watching, everybody.